America, the co-author of a really great book that'll help a lot of us that have suffered with some back issues over the years. I guess everybody has. This one's called The Younger Next Year Back Book, The Whole Body Plan to Conquer Back Pain Forever. We're joined today by Jeremy James. He's the director of the Aspen Back Club Institute, and he lives out, I believe, in Aspen, Colorado. That would make sense. And Jeremy, good to have a chance to talk with you. How are you today?
I'm great, Doug. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
You're in Colorado, right?
I do live in Aspen, Colorado. I'm talking to you from New York City right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I live in Colorado.
My hometown, former hometown. So always good to talk to somebody, even if you're just visiting New York. But again, I had a chance to read through the book, and I guess everybody. I'm 6'5", so tall people tend to have some back issues. I haven't had a lot, but we've had them. But I guess everybody at one time or another in their life deals with back pain. So it's kind of I guess in the book you point out 80% of Americans even go for help for back pain, right? So it's a big issue.
That's right. It's very common, and it's becoming more and more common as we go. So it's increasing in prevalence as we go, and it's starting to move into younger ages as well because of the lack of activity, physical activity.
I was going to say the way people kind of live nowadays is much more sedentary than maybe even 10 years ago. That adds to it, doesn't it?
It does. In general, movement is good for the back, and we do talk in the book about what is healthy and non-healthy back movement, but a lack of movement is almost always a bad thing.
The back, when you look at it, and you point out in the book through some through the diagrams, I'm amazed that it even works. I mean, it's amazing that God put it there like that it does work. But boy, there's so many moving parts to it. It's amazing that it even works at all, right?
It's an incredibly complex system, and it allows us to pretty much do everything that we do. The spine protects the spinal cord and the nerves as they exit, so it allows us to move, think, breathe, etc. But on the other hand, keeping it healthy is relatively simple, and it's a matter of changing your behavior, the way that you live your life, the way that you move, stand, sit, and doing some basic exercises to keep a decent amount of tone in the muscles that support your back. And that's about it. So, yeah, it's very complex, but keeping it healthy is pretty simple.
And again, you point out in the book, and I've heard over the years, the muscles around your core, your waist and all that are the key. Never lift with your back, lift with your legs. I mean, that's a rule I think everybody hopefully learns in their life.
Mm-hmm.
But the muscles are the key, right, to strengthen it.
Correct. The muscles are the body's natural support structure. We're talking about the muscles in the core, and the core generally means everything between your shoulders and hips all the way around your body. So it's your abdomen, it's the muscles in your back, it's the muscles in your buttocks. And having all of those in balance is really the key, and that's what we talk about in the book. It's having all those muscles balanced so that they're supporting the spine all together in a structured way, and it allows the spine to do its job without too much wear and tear being put in one specific area.
You talk in the book a condition, I never heard it called this before, but creep, right? That just kind of, like we said before, people sit too long in a bad
Right.
bad position, right?
Yeah, so what happens with creep is you have a seat, say, at your desk, and when you sit down, you're putting most of the force of your body through your lumbar spine, your low back. And what happens after about 10 to 15 minutes is the creep process kicks in, and that's a protective process so that your, say, lumbar discs don't snap or burst. So what happens when creep kicks in is they start to deform or bend, kind of like plastic. And that's a good thing, like I said, because they don't snap, but it's a bad thing in that when you stand up from that position or you shift from that position, your joints and your back are now unstable, and it takes a while for them to get back into their healthy, proper form after being under that sustained load of sitting for a while. So the key with sitting is to mix it up, is to move, is to not stay in a position for more than 15, 20, 30 minutes at max.
And again, the back exercises that people may have been doing for years, and some of them may have been correct, but if you do them wrong, and you talk again in the book, a lot of people have done them wrong, right? That's hurting rather than helping.
Exactly. A lot of these exercises, if you just get in and start getting a habit of doing these exercises and zone out, it's much more likely than not that you're going to do them the wrong way, because moving the wrong way is what got you into this problem in the first place. It's very hard. We're creatures of habit. It's very hard to learn new ways of moving. So you really have to pay attention, and the details matter so much in a back exercise that if you're not doing them right, it's quite often you could be doing more damage than good because you're becoming really good at doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about, you have plenty of the exercises in the book. You give great details and diagrams of how to do them. Give maybe one or two key ones people can start with even if they're not suffering from it, they can try and prevent problems, right? What are one or two that people should start with?
Sure. So the exercises in the book that every person should be doing are the exercises in the commit to your core section. And as I mentioned before, balance being so important in the core, those exercises hit all four sides of your core. There's a crunch, which is not a sit-up, that is for the front side of your abdomen, side planks, which are for the sides of your body, and the bird dog exercise, which works the muscles in your back. And those should all be done with attention to detail as we teach in the book, keeping what we call neutral spine at all times.
Yeah. Again, you say in the book, if you have severe pain, I think, like you said, if it radiates down your leg or whatever, do see a doctor. You're not advocating don't do that, but most of these exercises can, if not prevent, at least alleviate a lot of the pain, right?
Sure. So we give a pretty detailed section on, there are some serious conditions that can cause back pain in rare cases, cancer, serious nerve issues, etc. We give you some pointers about how to know if that might be going on with you. If you have serious back pain or you fit into what we go into there, of course, absolutely go see a doctor. If you fit the other conditions and you feel comfortable with it and you've been assessed by a doctor and they tell you that it's not something that's serious, then these exercises done the right way will make a significant difference, along with changing those bad behaviors that keep your back under a state of stress and load.
Do you find, Jeremy, in your practice at your back institute, are people is it getting worse out there, or are people starting to take heed to this? And because, like you said, people tend to sit more on their jobs now or don't exercise as much.
It's the information about healthy back care and about the proper way to care for your back pain or your back. That information is becoming more and more widespread, so that's a good thing. So once somebody finds themselves in pain through things like this book and other people talking out there, the information is getting better. What's getting worse is, as a society, we are becoming, less and less mobile, more and more sedentary. So I expect to see more and more people with back pain, sadly.
Walking, though, if nothing else, walking is as good an exercise as any for your back, right?
Well, walking is good in that you're getting movement. You're getting movement in the hips, and when you walk, it shifts loads through your lumbar discs in a healthy way that is good for you. Walking is better than nothing, but certainly it won't do it just by itself.
Right. You have to get on the floor and do some of those other exercises. Help the muscles strengthen up. It's great book, the way you lay it out, and again, you give a lot of diagrams of doing these exercises, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. Again, the book is called The Younger Next Year Back Book, the whole body plan to conquer back pain forever, and we're joined by Jeremy James, also Chris Crowley, who writes those Younger Next Year series, helped you with it. So you got a good co-author there, and I think this book's going to do well. I hope it does well for you. Do you have a website, Jeremy?
I do, Doug. It's www.backforever.com.
Great. Jeremy, thanks for being with us. Hopefully we can do it again.
Thanks so much, Doug. I enjoyed it.